Hello, everyone. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Emily.
And we're the hosts of the I Don't Think So podcast. Each episode, we discuss a different story, theory, or mystery and decide if we think it's believable or if we really don't think so.
Here at the I Don't Think So podcast, we are affiliated with Flurry Sports, and we present our theories on your favorite place to listen to podcasts every Wednesday. If you like what you hear, give us a rating, share, leave a comment. Go ahead and follow us on all of our socials at I Don't Think So _EH, or you can check us out on YouTube at IDTS Conspiracies.
Woo!
Woo!
I feel like we've lived a whole life. She's literally laying there sleeping with her tail over her eye.
I know, but I saw like something very furry out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, "Whoa!"
A raccoon.
A wild animal got into your home, sleeping on your couch. No, just mittens.
Yeah, no, I think about the fact that I've thought about this topic for so long and I couldn't remember what it was. But now that I'm like reviewing it again, I am bringing it back to my roots, you know, this theme. It was all about like different theories or like trends that you like believe with your chest. What?
This is like the first theme that you've picked in so long, too.
And you know what's funny?
Yeah.
Is we would have been on a cycle where I would have then had to pick.
Oh.
But now because we missed, you're going to have to pick again.
Son of a bitch.
But I was reviewing some of the past topics we've done, and I'm like, oh, we should bring those back so we can chat. We'll figure it out.
We'll be fine.
Off air.
In the background.
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I remember when OG TikTok was still a thing. I was on this page and they're talking about different theories or conspiracies that you like full-heartedly believe in. And I found some that I was like, oh my gosh, that just is like too crazy. And so that's kind of where we're going to start off today. But I also found an Am I the Asshole
Love.
that I literally saw it and I was like, I need to save this because it is crazy. Anyway, so
I love Am I the Asshole?
I do too. And it has an update too. So I know. Anyway, so my theory that I want to bring to you is called the burnt toast theory. And it's kind of all about embracing life's like frustrations and things like that. So have you heard of the burnt toast theory before?
No, never. But every time I hear burnt toast, I think of strokes.
Well, okay, you were saying that. And then I was like, I guess I've heard that before.
Mm-hmm. It's like one of those symptoms.
I just don't understand.
I don't know.
And everyone's like, yeah, we don't understand. But I'm like, okay, but
Way.
I feel like we should look into this some more.
Well, I was just saying the other day, I'm like, oh God, at least I don't smell. I don't know what it is. Oh, never mind. I know exactly what happened. I had a candle lit, and one of the indoor cats came inside, and she jumped on the counter, and I wasn't paying attention, and she dropped her freaking tail and like caught her tail on fire.
You're talking at not your parents' house.
No.
Like,
No,
when
no.
did you get outdoor cats again? Also, why did Milo attack it?
No, what is Milo doing? No, this cat's name is Carlos.
I did hear the story. Yes.
Yeah. And she lit her tail on fire. It was burnt hair.
Did she not react?
No!
I mean, I guess the end of their tails don't necessarily have like
she is a long-haired cat, too.
like a actual. The actual tail is just fur, but you'd think it'd be hot.
You would think. I smushed it out really fast, though. I'm like, scoosh.
Did you use your hands?
Yeah. What else was I supposed to
Did
do?
you burn your hands?
No. I don't know why.
Is it like the thing where you like lick your fingers and put your hands?
I didn't lick anything. I think I was sweating. So.
You know what I mean? Though?
Maybe that's it. But yeah, it smelled like burnt hair, and I was saying to Jared, I was like, well, at least it's not burnt toast. And he was like, huh? And I was like, you know,
like you're having a stroke.
like you're having a stroke. And he's like, are you having a stroke now? And I was like, no.
You don't understand me.
And so then I had to explain that, like, they say if you're having a stroke, at like right before you have it, you smell burnt toast. And he's like, I don't think that's real.
It's 100% a thing, but I just don't understand it.
No.
Also, like, how many people had to bring up the symptom for doctors to take them seriously. Because I feel bad for all those people that are like, I smelt burnt toast, and they're like, send them to the freaking loony bin.
Cool.
You know what I mean? Or like, you're just making stuff up. And I'm like, no, I'm serious.
Smell like
And they're just
Like
like questionably
burnt
writing it down for toast, question mark. And then eventually they just have so many burnt toast question marks that they're like, I guess this is the thing.
I guess you smell burnt. And then I'm like, is it like part of your brain roasting during the stroke?
Oh.
But then I'm like, no, that doesn't.
So you'd think it'd have to be in like your sense of smell region.
Olfactory region. I mean, that's why not everybody smells burnt toast.
I don't know. Anyway, this is the burnt toast.
Oh!
We're 8 minutes in. We're turning into the Flurry Sports
We are.
podcast. It's been a while.
Tangents.
Anyway, I have a little imagery for you to picture as we
phenomenal.
start this. So, look, imagine you woke up in the morning, you start a new job,
Oh.
and you decide to start your day off right by making yourself breakfast, okay?
Oh, I don't know.
And you're making toast in the morning. You love toast.
I do.
Get some peanut butter toast.
I love a peanut butter toast.
I love buttered toast.
Oh, we're gonna side tangent. My ideal is like a homemade bread,
Uh-huh.
grandma's recipe up,
Uh-huh.
and you just toast it so it's just turned like a little bit golden brown on the
Mhm.
corners and
Mhm.
and then while it's warm, you slap like a
Ton of
tablespoon of butter on that bad boy. Oh,
It's so good.
I'm salivating. I'm not even
I am
hungry,
too.
and that sounds so delicious.
It does. Anyway.
I've never had it with avocado on it. I bet you'd be delicious with as an avocado toast.
Oh my god, my mom wants to. Anyway, you're making toast as per your usual routine.
Got it.
Only this time you're distracted, you're a little worried, and instead of like setting the dial right, it ends up burning your toast.
Oh my god.
And you're like, "Ugh, dang it. Whatever reason, it got burned. You don't know how it got burned, but you're really hungry. You decide you need to make another piece of toast, okay?
Oh
So you're forced to throw that out and make another batch. And while this whole process added 5 minutes to your morning routine, so it's just like a small inconvenience. You're now running a little bit later than you should have been. You're a little annoyed. You jump in your car and you're heading to work, but on the way you see a car accident. And when you hear the details of the car accident, you realize that if you had left your house on time, it could have been you. And that burnt toast saved your life. This feels like a Glee episode. Did you ever watch Glee?
No. Do you remember that one stupid fair movie
Yeah,
about
was-
get slushied and I had no idea what they were
It was
talking
supposed
about?
to be like they're bullying them, but there's this one. It's so funny. There's this one episode where Finn makes a grilled cheese. And the grilled cheese is the face of Jesus. Like, you know how you get like the potato chips with
Yeah.
like Darth Vader or whatever? Like his grilled cheese looked like the face of Jesus, so he called it his grilled Jesus. And he kept making wishes, and then like grilled Jesus was bringing it to him. And so he wouldn't eat it. It was so funny. But yeah, your burnt toast
Your
saves
burnt
your life,
toast.
or grilled Jesus. So this whole point of this scenario, even though it's a little silly, is that like sometimes these small inconveniences actually are like playing a bigger role in your life. And although you might be frustrated by these little things, you end up finding your path or your way. It's all meant to be. Another scenario they suggest is like maybe you're running on time, you decide to pick up some coffee on the way to work, but the barista ends up messing up your order, so it takes up a few extra minutes, and you end up running into this person, and they end up being your love of your life or something like that. Like these little bits of time where it's like this divine intervention that's kind of like pulling these puppet strings that is setting you up to be in the right place at the right time, even though it's against your normal routine kind of thing. So it's supposed to, like, a lot of people say it's cheesy, but at its core, the burnt toast theory, it's all about kind of like reframing life's inconveniences or failures with the belief that everything happens and is part of this bigger plan in your life. It's about giving reason to the moments of frustration or pain, and it's telling ourselves that no matter what happens, the universe has our back. One person said it's really been helping me accept things that are out of my control. It's the idea that inconveniences in our life are either saving us from something more detrimental or pushing us in the direction we need to go. And although different things might have like made you feel broken, this can kind of like put the pieces back together for you in your life. So,
You know what this makes me think of?
huh.
Where it's gonna be a real old-fashioned Christmas.
Literally, is that?
I'm sorry, I missed my bus. Oh my god.
Those of you who don't know, there's a Christmas song called "A Real Old-Fashioned Christmas," and it is the quote-unquote worst Christmas song or best Christmas song
Depends on how you look at it.
you will ever hear in your entire life. And pretty much it's like this woman and her kids are at home. It's Christmas Eve and they're waiting for their dad to come home from work, and he always takes the number 9 bus.
Yeah.
And they're listening to the radio, the different Christmas carols are playing, and all of a sudden this siren
Wah, wah.
goes off, and it's like, sorry for the interruption, but the number 9 bus hit a patch of ice.
And,
We'll
like,
let you know if we find out.
careened into the ditch.
And then they're like, sorry to break this news to you, but there's no survivors.
yeah, and then the mom immediately like,
Oh,
what do I have to live for? And her kids are like, me.
Oh, and the daughter's like, who's gonna walk me down the aisle on my wedding day? And the boy's like, who's gonna buy me presents and take me out to play?
And everyone's like, shut up, Bobby. And then, like,
And the mom's like, I'm gonna off myself. I have nothing to live for.
but then Dad walks through the door and he's like, sorry guys, I missed my bus. And so again, it's that kind of burnt toast theory, I guess.
That is
Real-
the perfect example of the burnt
Real
toast.
circle back moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's such a crazy thing of like, what's fate, you know, and if you
Mhm.
believe in fate. And I think it ties really well into your first one, that string
Yeah.
theory one. Just that, like, you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be sort of vibe. Oh, I guess it's that if you believe in, like, are you in the right place at the right time
Yeah.
person.
When I do kind of feel like the people that are supposed to be in your life will happen, and it's like I've been trying to like let myself realize that like things do happen for a reason. If you can give yourself enough grace to see things in a more positive light, it can help. But I definitely am. I struggle with that sometimes, so I feel like I like this because it helps me realize like maybe this thing went poorly. Maybe you really, really wanted this job, but because you didn't get that job, you were able to find another opportunity or something. Or whatever happens in your life, it's like all the things are setting you up to be where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. I also think, like, I love control.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. That look.
Weird. So it is, I think it's a nice, like, philosophy that, like, because there are things all the time that are out of,
Mhm.
like, my control and everyone's control. But it's nice to sometimes think about, like, it'll either all work out in the end. It might be saving me from something worse.
Right.
It might be exactly where I need to be. Maybe I need
Mhm.
to stop and smell the roses, which I'm not always great about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's super cool.
Yeah. So that kind of just wraps up our month of theories that we really like to believe in.
Absolutely. Stop it.
She keeps looking over her shoulder like, that stuff that makes me nervous.
I don't like when you do that. Thank you.
She's like, I'm just trying to sleep.
I'm just looking at the ghost in your house, apparently.
We had a mouse, so I keep thinking that she's gonna like see mice. And I'll be like, go catch it.
Grab it, girl, with your one fang.
Yeah. Anywho, now let's get back to our roots. Am I the asshole?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Buckle up, it's a little bit of a long one, and there's an update. I haven't gotten to read the update, so we'll have to.
Did you read this together?
Yes.
Love.
Okay. This was posted 3 days ago,
Ooh, and there's an update already? I like this
and
person.
there's an update. So, am I the asshole for being mad at my husband for saying he would pick his deceased wife over me?
Ooh, I don't know why that question came up, but okay.
So she's 34 female, husband, 34 male, was married once before me.
Sure.
She was his high school sweetheart. They started dating their junior year, survived long distance during college, and got married when they were both 23. very shortly after graduating college, she passed away unexpectedly at the age of 26 from an aneurysm, and it was obviously devastating to him, especially because they were extremely young. They never had children. He contemplated remarrying because he was so heartbroken, but we ended up meeting about 4 years after that. We got married when I was 31 and he was 34 and have 2 children now.
Okay.
So it was about 10 years after his wife had passed
Yeah.
that they ended up getting married.
It's like 8 years, I think.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Last night, we were at a friend's potluck gathering. Everything was going well until one of our friends brought up a new topic that had to do with relationships. She is newly divorced, so it was about her divorce. Others were chiming in with past relationships from high school, college, etc. I had said I never thought I would get married because my luck with men has always been terrible until I met my husband, and I said I felt very lucky to have met him.
Yeah.
After a little while longer, my husband brings up his deceased wife. Everyone knows he was married before me and that she had passed away. He was talking about her and then drops a bomb and goes, "If she walked through that front door right now, I'd pick up with her where we left off."
Was he drunk? Listen, even if that's true, that's an inside thought, my man.
Let me continue. If I'm being honest, it felt like someone put my heart in a blender and punched me in the gut as hard as they could. Everyone in the room could sense the awkwardness that followed. To avoid making a scene, I just laughed it off, even though I think it was obvious that it hurt me. I just felt like if you still felt that way, then why are we married? I've never asked him to get over his wife. I've never had a deceased spouse or even a deceased partner. So I'm unsure how that feels, but I would never say that in front of my new spouse. After the gathering, we left, and I did not speak to him the entire car ride home or barely that entire night. I did tell him that what he had said hurt my feelings deeply and that we could talk in the morning once I calmed down because I didn't want to say something mean to him. I ended up sleeping on the couch because he would not leave me alone. It's now the next morning and I barely slept. He is still sleeping and I'm not sure what to say or what he will say.
Jesus Christ. So, no, wasn't asked, wasn't poised, wasn't whatever. He just, out of the blue, was like, yeah, she walked through the door, I'd drop you like a sack of potatoes. Which is maybe fair.
Well, and what got me is he said that we'd pick up where we left off. So I'm like, not that it's still an inside thought, but was he meaning it in the sense of like he felt like they could talk like no time had passed kind of thing. And maybe it wasn't coming from a place of like our relationship would pick up where we left off. Not okay.
No. I think it's an inside thought.
It's 100% an inside thought. I just kind of feel like I feel bad because it's like, would he and his wife be together had his previous wife not passed away?
Probably not.
Probably not. And so it's like,
but you don't know.
You don't know what your relationship would have led to. And I understand, like, it's almost like a different life.
Yeah, and it's not like you ever fell out of love with that person. You know, where, like, if a divorce happens, right?
Right.
Or whatever. Usually that love...
You weren't choosing to end your relationship.
It was ended from unforeseen circumstances with her, with an aneurysm. So, again, it wasn't even like you could necessarily prepare and grieve ahead of time for her
cancer
loss.
Or something like that.
She just passed, and it's sad and it's tragic and all that. So I don't blame him for having that thought. I don't blame him for being like, I love my first wife. Like,
right.
I still love her.
Right.
And, like, if she walked through that door today, like, she would be the woman I would be with.
And it's just obviously this is not, like, real life. Something like that's not going to happen.
No.
And so, not saying that it's okay, but maybe he, like, it's coming from a place of, like, well, it never would happen. So, like, there's nothing to be threatened.
You don't need to be threatened. She's not ever walking through that door again. Or,
right.
like...
Or that I don't love you.
I think he could have, if he decided he was going to say that thought out loud, which I don't think would have been smart and wasn't smart, it could have been said in a way of, like, I would have never met my wife had she still been alive.
Mm-hmm.
But I love you, and I'm happy we're married.
And that we have kids together, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
blah, blah.
you know, and I just don't love that he's, like, put them in this weird pitted competition.
Yeah, it does
against
feel
each
like,
other
and like there's no competition because
when there had never been a competition, and there isn't a competition.
right. It's definitely one of those things where it's like I feel like it should have never been said in that context. Like you don't just like
No.
say that in front of a group of people.
No, it seems like he put his foot in his mouth. And then I listen, I can understand that it's hard, but if your partner says like, hey, I need space from you because what you said hurt me.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't
To,
sound
like,
like he
not-
was like upset about her taking space either.
No, but it sounded like she slept on the couch because he wouldn't leave her alone.
Yeah.
Like, just say, I'm sorry, I'll give you the space. And that, like, gives you a chance to get your own space and be like, I put my foot in my mouth and I don't know. Maybe I don't know why I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, maybe there is an excuse in the update of, like, I was pissed because she's talking about a divorce and I didn't get the chance to do that, or...
Right. So should we try to read that up? I haven't read the update. So are you ready?
Do you have any thoughts before you read the update?
I just feel like he shouldn't have said it. But I feel bad being like he's an asshole. So I don't think it was coming from a place to make her feel bad. I think he was like it was coming from a place of grief. And like grief does really shitty things to people.
Yeah. I don't think she's an asshole though for being upset.
I don't think she's an asshole. I just don't also think because some people are like, he's an asshole. And I'm like, I don't think
I don't know if assholes what I'd say it was I think he did a shitty thing.
and I think he needs to apologize for it. And maybe the update has that. And I don't think I 100% think that like that should have never came out of his mouth, especially in that context, because you're just like setting up a problem that can't necessarily be solved
No, and like
because
to be
it's
honest
always
with
going
you,
to be a thought.
and now an apology doesn't fix it.
No,
Like even if he said it just like not in the company of others, but just to her, that would always be a thought for her. But now it's not only like this is her thought, but she has to constantly be reminded the fact that like every time she's around
these people
these
that they
people
know.
that they know and they're friends and they hang out with, like they all know my husband would drop me in a hot second if his first wife walked through the door.
Right. And so that's why I kind of feel like she is definitely not an asshole. She has every right to feel the way she feels.
Yeah.
I
I
just
think that was
also
the
feel
question.
bad. Like, there's a lot of people jumping down his throat. And I'm like, I don't know if I would necessarily jump down his throat. Like, I think that, like, if he were to take ownership, because we don't know, because that was just literally then.
Yeah.
Like, if he were to take ownership, then, like, I could understand where he's just like, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. Like,
I wouldn't say he's like entire personality's asshole. I think he was an ass in that moment.
yeah, I could understand him getting carried away in, like, his thoughts.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's not an ass in that moment.
I think you saying, like, we could pick up where, if she walked through, we could pick up where we left off is a very, like, general statement, depending on how it's said. Because it wasn't like, she walked through the door, I'm going to, like, dump you and marry her. Like,
True.
it's not like we're ending our relationship. You're talking about, like, we could pick up in conversation where we left off.
Yeah, but you're taking it as we could pick up in conversation, and she took it definitely as we could pick up our relationship where we left off.
Right, but you're also taking it like that.
100%. You're just giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm not.
Right. Well,
And I'm
that's-
giving him the benefit of the doubt that the wife gave him.
Right. I'm just trying to, like,
Be devil's advocate a little bit.
well, and I just, like, I mean, I've been married to my husband, and it's like, I can't imagine losing him.
No.
And then, like, I don't know if I could ever get over that.
Right.
And so then I'm like, I don't blame him for, like, not being over her.
And I don't think he should be over her or needs to be over her. I think it's just like,
It shouldn't have been said.
it shouldn't have been said. And I think, again, like you said, I think getting carried away and getting lost in your thoughts is absolutely true. But just because that happens doesn't mean your actions are okay.
Well, and I think what speaks more is, like, how is it handled afterwards?
Yeah, I'm excited to hear the update and how he came out of this, or how she responded.
Yeah.
More.
Well, let's find out.
Well, I appreciate too that she said, like, "Hey, you hurt me."
Yes. Well, and I think she did the exact right thing of saying, like, I need space. I don't want to say something mean. So it's like, you don't want to clap back with, like, initial something, and then it's, like, becoming bigger than it. Like, you're saying something you don't necessarily mean because you're upset.
Yeah, I also could totally understand being upset after you say, like, can you imagine being like saying the nicest thing about your husband, right,
Mhm.
or your partner, and then he turns around and is like, have my friend's sweat closet. Like, I'm sure that would just feel like, not that like, it's not like a reciprocal thing where you're like, I say nice things, so you say nice things.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's not like something.
But you're hoping
but
you
you're
get
like,
a compliment back.
You're like, oh, it'll be so. Oh, he's gonna say
Mother of my
something nice.
children. Da, 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 da. And then he's like, I pick up where I left off. Which is, yeah, that's
It's almost like a double, like a.
Yeah, that makes it worse. Okay, so update. This may be a long one. I tried to reply to as many comments as I could, but they were flooding in, and I got a bit overwhelmed. Because it must have been the same day, because they're both from 3 days ago.
Holy crap!
So she's
moving
on it, and it said, blah, blah, blah. She just might still reply to read. She goes, also, alcohol was not involved in the sense that he wasn't drunk. My husband is 6'3", almost 250 pounds. He had eaten quite a bit and had one beer. He was practically sober.
Okay.
Anyway, we talked. I asked him to let me go first and to not interrupt. He doesn't usually interrupt anyway. Just wanted him to make sure he did it.
Yeah.
This isn't verbatim, just a rough sketch of how things went.
Perfect.
I also included points some of you made without mentioning. I posted this, of course.
Absolutely.
Okay. Me. Quote. I just want to say that I do not hate you for what you said. I understand where you are coming from. She died and it was something neither of you saw coming. I could never ask you to get over her or to forget her because I know how much you loved her. She was your first love. I do understand that if she hadn't passed, we likely would not be together and you two likely would be. I have always understood this, but to say what you said hurt my feelings and embarrassed me. And even though her coming back from the dead is impossible, if it were, you would leave me and the children, ? It was possibly one of the worst things anyone has ever said to me. It is clear your feelings about her are still raw and it still hurts, and I want you to get counseling, and I want couples counseling very, very soon. End quote. I think that's nice.
I think that's a really fair statement because that's her validating like all of the things we said. Right. And all the things that like I'm sure so many people said of like no one expects their spouse to die, especially at the ripe age of 26.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all those things. But what you said wasn't okay either.
Right.
And that's why.
Right. Okay. This is his response.
That's good.
He then apologized profusely, teared up, and said how he didn't mean to hurt or embarrass me in front of our friends. He basically said that he thought about it before he went to sleep and came to the realization that he shouldn't have kept it to himself. I mean, I can't be angry for what he thinks. He loved her and she died. His feelings are also valid here. Also said that he would never leave me and the children, and that what he said was just a poorly thought out, poorly worded statement. That he was not thinking clearly, and when he said it, he immediately felt that maybe it came out wrong. Fair. I asked him how he would feel if I said that to him. He says, yeah, it's bad. I know. I shouldn't have said it. I wouldn't be happy. I know you aren't happy. I should have apologized in front of everyone as soon as I said it, or have not said it at all. And I then asked him to think of the children, and he said, it's like you saying, hey, children's names, if my dead wife walked through the door, I'd pack my bags and never speak to you guys again. And it's really uncomfortable. After some silence, I had no idea what to say after that. He asked me if I wanted a divorce. So I asked him why he would think I would want a divorce, just to see what he would say. He says he doesn't know. I didn't answer his question and said we needed to look into counseling, that he needed to get counseling for himself, and that we would go to couples counseling. And if the answer is no, I am not interested in moving forward. This isn't, sorry, it's like trying to read it and not love the words. This isn't 100% about the comment anymore. I need to know if he is willing to make the necessary changes and put in the work to fix what he messed up. Because if he were to dismiss my feelings or not want counseling, it means he doesn't think this was that serious and that he may not take me serious. Quote in quotes. I also said this to him. I understand where she's coming from here.
I do. I agree with her that this has moved past the comment because I do think he had validated her feelings and there was like, yeah, that was super shitty.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't go back and fix it,
Mm-hmm.
right, to some degree. But
You can make active steps. You're choosing her
to be like, yeah, I need I need to work through the grief in some way with my
Mhm.
therapist and like with a couples counselor, because as much as an apology is nice, it doesn't necessarily fix the hurt feelings
Or
right
show
now.
that you're working to fix what's been wronged.
What's been broken.
Yeah, we still got a lot to go.
Perfect.
Some of the comments also told me to take the kids elsewhere. I agreed with this because it would be difficult to get through this while also parenting. I've got a very young daughter and a son that is a toddler. They are currently with my parents for the weekend, and I'll be getting them Sunday night, so this gives us time to really work.
Good.
He suggested he sleep on the couch instead of me. I have nowhere else to go. I haven't told my parents because I really would like to keep this between me and him as much as possible. Girl, you posted online. That's fine.
Yeah.
Family and friends jump. Also, your friends. No. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to judge her, but whatever. Family and friends jump to judge too fast and sometimes offer extreme or harmful advice, and it's also embarrassing, which is fair.
Yeah. And like she said, that's embarrassing.
Right. Luckily, we both have very good insurance that will help with counseling. I told him that it seems like whatever counseling he got after her death was not enough and that he was not consistent with it like he should have been. With trauma like that, I personally would have been in counseling for years before I ever even considered remarrying. Yes, but you also chose to date him and marry him when you know what counseling he had and didn't have.
Yeah, also I don't necessarily love him for like, you need to get counseling.
I get that
Okay.
she's upset, but like you also don't need to like.
You obviously didn't work through it because you had said you would still leave her. Or leave me for
I feel
her.
like she's trying to blame like a lack of past work for this comment, which part of it may be, but I just don't know if that's like a healthy way to like work through this.
And this could also be my interpretation. It to me seems like she feels, and this is total maybe a stretch. It's the way it's reading to me is, if you get enough counseling, you won't
Feel that way,
want to, like, if she came back, you'd stay with me.
right?
And that I'm like,
I don't know if those feelings will ever necessarily change
go away.
due to the circumstances of
Everything.
the death. And on top of that, like we said, just because he loves her doesn't mean he doesn't love you and want to be with you and like work through this with you and parent your children.
Correct.
Right? Like lots of people have partners that have passed away and get remarried, but will still and will always still love their previous partner.
Yes.
You know? Anyway, he agreed. He was only in it, meaning therapy, for about a year and then stopped once he moved away from his hometown, never got back into it. He also agreed to the individual and couples counseling, kept apologizing, kept telling me he loved me all day. It was also so difficult to be around him because he kept looking at me. I couldn't think. It was like he would try to say something and then he would just stare and not say anything. So he obviously feels bad.
Yeah. And he also is like us all,
Mhm.
when you hurt someone you love and you care about, you want to do everything
It's like
you
a
can.
people pleasing.
You're like, I want to fix it. I want to fix it, and I want to fix it now. Like, I want you to be happy, and I want you to be okay now. And unfortunately, this is one of those things. It won't be good for a little while.
Mhm. With the kids gone, there's nothing to do except for talk. So we talked again right before dinner time. He asked me if I wanted him to cook or buy something. I was still not hungry, to be honest, so I just told him he could pick something up for himself and that I wasn't hungry, and that prompted the second discussion. Realized he must feel very bad because he noticed I hadn't really eaten much all day, kept asking me to eat. I wasn't sulking too bad or anything, just doing my usual tasks, but not speaking or eating as much because we're home together all day, he has noticed. Asked me one more time to please eat dinner with him, so I agreed. During dinner, he told me that he looked for counselors himself and wanted me to see if I thought that they're okay and good enough, and that he would keep looking if they weren't.
This is getting slippery for me because this is starting to feel like he is giving away a lot of power and control in this situation, which I think to some degree is okay. However, like, I think he's trying, and
It's getting a little toxic in the other direction.
it's getting in that other direction of like, tell me what's good enough, tell me I'm okay. It doesn't feel good to me anymore.
Yeah. Last stretch. ... After all that, I told him that we can't really predict anything until we've met with the therapist, which is fair. I don't want him to keep saying sorry. I want work and change. Fair. And then maybe we can move forward, but this is just the first step. I don't like the and then maybe we can work forward. It's like he's obviously trying. Like you told him what you wanted. He said, I will do what you want me to do. Is this what you want? And then she's like, well, maybe. And it's like, I get you're mad, babe. I'm mad for you too.
I talked about this with someone too, is like, and we had a completely different conversation. It was about like cheating. And I was like, the thing is, if you're going to stay with someone after they've cheated and you say like I want to move forward with you. Here's the things I need for us to do to move forward. You kind of have to bury in and dig into that choice then. You can't play the card of I forgive you if you do X, Y, and Z, and you do X, Y, and Z, but there's still that caveat of like
there's still contingencies after
of like, oh, remember the time you cheated on me? So let's not do that. Or like for this example, it was like they didn't want to plan anything too far out in the future as a couple because they were like, one of them was like, well, I don't know if we're going to still be together.
Then why are you together?
And it's like, well, I don't, that sounds very manipulative. And I also said, like, when I have broken up with partners in the past, I'm not like telling them way in advance, like, we're going to break up if you don't do da 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 da. Because in the same vein of like, you should talk about your problems. I'm not saying you should just like.
Well, and you can set a boundary like this hurt me. If I feel like if I were to get hurt again, I'm done.
Yeah.
Right. But then you need to like stick to your boundary.
Stick to that boundary and stick to that line versus like.
Or expect that they're not going to respect your boundaries in the future.
Yeah, those are your options. You can't play this like, I'm willing to move forward with you for the first half of the sentence, and then the second half of the sentence is, but we'll see if I want to keep moving forward. Like, that's an unfair position to put that person in.
Yeah. We got
so much more, so sorry.
More, okay. It's okay. Because I've got thoughts too. So I don't want to just leave him. I'm also not saying divorce is off the table. I think he is hurting from her death, and his judgment is very clouded. If he didn't love me, I doubt he would have apologized so many times and looked for counselors on his own. A man that doesn't love me probably would have made me look or rejected going altogether. Many people were suggesting this. I do not think he doesn't love me. I thought of this myself. Cried about it, thought of my children, cried some more. I'm not staying for the kids. I am staying because I want to at least try to fix. If it cannot be fixed, then at least I've tried, which is fair.
Yeah.
We were also very close. Some people were asking how close we were prior to marriage, I guess as a way to gauge the difference between their relationship and our relationship, maybe to see if he settled, ? He was always very romantic, caring, and sweet to me. We've never yelled at each other. When we first started dating, he would plan dates, surprise me, brag to me to his friends. So that's why I am very confused on why he would blurt that, unless it was just very poor brain and mouth coordination. Which happens. I kind of feel like it maybe was. Not saying it's okay. I also told him that I may get a counselor for myself. I think you should. I don't think I need one.
We all have things we can talk to a counselor about, but okay.
Someone suggested this, but I think he needs it more than I do. Sorry.
Okay.
It's getting so bad. And because insurance companies are getting shittier by the year, 3 counseling bills may be pushing it. I don't know. Sorry.
I think you can't say you need counseling more than I do. And I am very much, if you are not willing to do it, don't make someone else do it.
Just wait.
Oh no.
Start pre-reading it.
Oh no.
If I do get one, it's because I don't want to potentially resent him or doubt myself. Some people were making attempts to make me doubt myself. Okay.
Oh, God.
Some people in the comments were very nasty to me. I appreciate Reddit hiding comments with many downvotes downvotes as they may be mean, but I couldn't help but click. Okay, girl, you're getting. I feel like that's where some of this toxic energy is coming from. Is that like she got feeded into a lot of very negative comments about her husband, which I think are valid, but then it like is then seeping into their marriage.
A little. I
A
also
little.
a lot. I get it. But like also if like everyone is downvoting a comment, I'm also not gonna be like that was a correct comment either.
Well, for sure. I'm just saying, like, if there's that many, if you're trying to, like, if you're letting yourself get into that and, like, spiral, yeah, maybe you do need some counseling.
You might need some.
Anyway, some of you are very mean and very nasty individuals, and I hope you find happiness one day.
Okay.
There could be another update in the future, not opposed to making one. Thank you for all your kind words. I've also responded to everyone that texted me, which was everyone that was there at the potluck that has my number. 3 people. There were 9 people there, not including us. They've all basically said the same thing. They can't believe he said that. They feel bad for me, asking if everything is okay, what he said was not okay, etc. He showed me some of the texts with him and his friends, and some made me cry with how kind they were being towards me, basically telling him he wasn't necessarily wrong for thinking that, but was wrong for saying it. I told him I loved him as well, and I have never loved him I've never not loved him even for a second. And that I wasn't angry with him and didn't want him to suffer for what he said. You're angry with him.
You are angry.
But
you
I
didn't
was
say
just
all that and not have anger in there.
right, but I was just hurt and needed him to know that it did hurt me and him to respond how he saw fit, and we'd go from there. That's all for now. I could possibly answer more questions here. If you have any, I tried to answer some more frequently asked ones that I saw. Again, sorry for being so lengthy. Have a nice weekend.
What's the top comment?
What does it say? Your family therapist may want to do an individual session with each of you at some point, so that may help you decide if you want to pursue your own sessions for your own mental health. I think you're taking a measured path that will hopefully get you to a better place.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm sure. Oh, I don't know.
Honestly, I think everyone needs their own therapist.
Same.
Sorry.
I mean, you don't need to talk. Like, it's nice sometimes to just be able to process conversations and things like that.
Yeah, pretty much everyone's just like, I think that you did a good job expressing your feelings, but like everyone needs help, kind of thing.
Yeah, she really down talked the therapist, which I was like, ooh, I don't know if she's gonna get upvotes for that, but I do think that like, I think her being like, I'm not angry is something I would totally say when I'm pissed.
Well, and I think, like, again, I don't think she's a terrible person either, but it's like when she's saying, like, I want him to know I'm hurt. I'm like, I feel like you are trying to say things to hurt him to make him feel how hurt you are. And, like, we've all said things we don't mean or, like,
100%.
said things to be like, look at how much you've hurt me.
I want you to be just as much
But it's
pain.
like, as much as he said something that hurt you, like, you are still responsible for your feelings. And he needs to take accountability for what he said. But, like, it sounds like he's trying.
It sounds like he's trying.
So, like, maybe don't keep, like, but this. And we've already said that. Like, you can't just keep circling back. And again, it takes time. I'm terrible at this conversation.
Yeah.
All the advice I'm giving you, I would be the same. Probably.
100%. I don't need therapy.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, already took it.
Again, it sounds like he needs help. It sounds like you.
I think couples counseling is a great move because it genuinely sounds like without it, you don't know how to process this.
Right. Which is,
I don't know if I would either.
Yeah, I just hope that they take the necessary steps to work through it, because if they don't, I think it's just going to become a very toxic situation. And more than it already is.
And unfortunately, I think it's just going to take time. You know, it's just 3 days ago. I bet you it's still fucking awkward between them.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know if I find any updates next week.
I know, with TikTok going away.
Oh my god.
You have to really get into Reddit.
Mm-hmm. Reddit sometimes confuses me.
Oh! Every day I'm on there, I get confused.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that brings... We had a lengthy episode today.
What are we at?
48 minutes.
We are the Flurry Sports Podcast.
46 minutes. Whatever. Close enough. Anyway, if you like what you hear, if you like a longer episode, we're not going to give you one.
I hope you liked this one. You can re-listen to it.
But anyway, if you have any suggestions for what you would like to hear in February, definitely let us know. Otherwise, you can check us out on our socials at I don't think so _EH, or our YouTube at IDTS Conspiracies. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Yeah.